The goal that we went into it with wasn't to make an online community, but sort of like a mirror for the real community that existed in real life.
Google handles 65% of all internet search in the US and even more overseas.
In the early days, Google was just a search engine. All the search engine was initially was an index to what's on the internet. And the internet was pretty small back then. They had a better index than other indexes that were around. Theirs was not the first search engine.
Looking for some history of Abraham Lincoln, and there's a bunch of links across the web pointing to a particular site, that must mean that this page is the quote-unquote most relevant.
Now, they had to figure out, how do we make money off this? We've got an index. How do we make money? Well, they figured out how to do that. It's pretty simple. All you do is track people's searches. Your search history is very, very informative. That's going to tell someone immediately whether you're Republican or Democrat, whether you like one breakfast cereal versus another. That's going to tell you whether you're gay or straight. It's going to tell you thousands of things about a person over time because they can see what websites you're going to.
This information essentially are building blocks. They are constructing a profile of you. And that profile is real, it's detailed, it's granular, and it never goes away.
And that was the birth of smartphones. Steve Jobs unveiled the iPhone and the rise of Facebook. And this notion that time spent on a site where users are spending lots and lots of time on Facebook.
So they very rapidly started to branch out into other areas. They were getting a lot of information from people using the search engine, but if people went directly to a website, that's bad, because now Google doesn't know that. So they developed a browser, which is now the most widely used browser in the world, Chrome. By getting people to use Chrome, they were able now to collect information about every single website you visited, whether or not you were using their search engine. But of course, even that's not enough, right? Because people do a lot of things now on their mobile devices, on their computers. Without using their browser, you want to know what people are doing even when they're not online. So Google developed an operating system, which is called Android, which on mobile devices is the dominant operating system. And Android records what we're doing even when we are not online. As soon as you connect to the internet, Android uploads to Google a complete history of where you've been that day, among many other things. It's a progression of surveillance that Google has been engaged in since the beginning. When Google develops another tool for us to use, they're doing it not to make our lives easier, they're doing it to get another source of information about us.
These are all free services, but obviously they're not, because huge, complicated machines aren't free.